Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Voss Talks, and today we're going to be talking about how to create consistent content for Instagram in 2019. We're going to talk about how we can create a whole month's worth of content in just one day. So if you're interested in that, if you want to learn how to do that, stick around, watch this video, roll the intro. Alright, so before we get into this video, let's get into the question of the day, as always. And the question of the day today is, do you schedule your content ahead of time, or are you more of the on-the-fly type of person? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you are an on-the-fly type person. Do you ever miss posts? Let me know in the comments below. So let's get into the first tip. Number one is plan your content ahead of time and make sure you schedule it. So it's kind of like a two-part tip right there, but I don't know about you guys, but if I don't write it down or if I don't put it into a document, I just completely forget about what I was thinking. So if I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want to like create this content for this day, for this event, and it'll be perfect for it. If I don't write that down or put it into a content calendar right away, I usually forget about it. I don't know if you guys are like that. If you are, let me know in the comments below. Do you have a bad memory? I have a horrible memory. But an easy way that I found to plan ahead is to create a content calendar, which I've actually linked mine below, the one that I use. So that way you guys can just download it and just start using it for your own content ideas. But like in my case, if I don't plan ahead, I'm very disorganized and I also just tend to repeat myself a lot. It's much harder to stay consistent if you're creating content on the fly rather than having it all scheduled ahead of time. And having this content calendar makes it much easier to plan for any events, any product launches, any discounts, upcoming deals, or any other opportunities that your audience would be interested in. It makes it so much easier to plan for those events, opportunities, whatever. So that way you can create all of your content around whatever you're trying to promote. Like if you're trying to promote your event that you got going on, you can create all the content in that week about that event. It makes it much easier to be organized rather than just doing things on the fly. And that leads us into actually scheduling the content, and the app that I use, it's an app, it's a website, it's called Later. So it's later.com, or the app is just called Later, and that allows you to schedule your posts. It allows you to put the captions in, and you can schedule those posts as many as you want, depending on, I believe you get 30 posts per month for free, and then anything above that you have to pay like maybe 10 bucks a month. I'm not real sure. I think it is like 10, 20 bucks a month, but that's like unlimited content you could post, and it makes it much easier to know what you have going on, so that way you're not stressing out about it every single day. And that leads us into number two, which is get as much content as possible. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I'd like content, I gotta create content. And yeah, sometimes it's not the number one thing you wanna do. Sometimes you just wanna relax, but who says you can't be relaxing while creating content? Ask one of your family members to grab your camera and take some decent pictures of you and just keep firing them away. Sit in this spot, pose, be like, yo, what up? And then like get that picture, switch up the scene, maybe like just turn, I don't know, I would just switch up the background. Maybe if you get like a bunch of the same pictures with the same clothes on, maybe like switch up clothes. Just do different backgrounds, different scenes, different moods, like do like a grumpy face, do like a happy face, you gotta switch it up. You can't be like just posting the same picture every day. Sometimes I see people who just take pictures in the same room of their house every day and they post the same picture and it looks like the same thing every single day. And I don't know about their followers, but I definitely I kind of get bored of seeing the same thing every single day. So if you're making videos, make sure that you just take a ton of pictures while you're making those videos. Or if you're taking photos, make sure you take a ton. Don't just take one, don't just take like two, take like a ton of them, so that way you have content for the entire month after just one day of shooting. All of this content will definitely come in handy, like not only for your posts, but if you make a website, if you're doing ads on Instagram, ads on Facebook, etc. And that leads us into number three, which is using the different types of content. So there's different types of content that you should be posting. You shouldn't be posting the same thing every single day, like I already said. But the first type of content that is important for you to be posting is like lifestyle type of content. So that's like where you talk about things that you personally are interested in. Obviously you want to relate it to whatever you're talking about or whatever your page is about, but you want people to know that, you know, you do basic human things. You're like a normal human. You're not just like a marketing person 24/7. You want people to know know who you are and you want people to know what you're interested in. But remember, you want to always try and relate that to whatever your page is about. If you're talking about, like, if you run like a fitness page, you don't want to be talking about, like, let's say, I don't know, something that doesn't have to do with fitness whatsoever, that you can't connect to fitness at all. Like, obviously, if you do that once in a while, that's fine. Or if you schedule in content every day or every week and it has nothing to do with what your page is about, it's just lifestyle, that's not going to help you out. Yeah, it might help people get to know you a little bit more, but try to find something that you are passionate about that you can also tie into what your page is already about. And the second type of content that you could post on Instagram is educational content. And some people are like, well, what can I teach people? If you don't know like what you can be teaching regarding like whatever your niche is about, you can, first of all, think of any questions that you had when you started out in your niche. If you're like a fitness influencer, think about any questions that you might have had when you first started. Also, another way to find out what people actually are interested in and find out what types of questions people have, ask surveys in your stories on Instagram. So take polls, like, do you know like what this exercise is? Do you know how to hit like this muscle? Make sure you ask and do polls in your stories on Instagram, and that's a great way to find out if people know about these certain things that you might know about and you might think is common sense, but to other people it might not be so common. And then there's promotional content. That's another type of content, and promotional content is very important. My favorite type of promotional content is user-generated content. I call this UGC, and UGC is basically content that anyone who has bought your product or anyone that's gone through like your business, etc., you can use that content that they've posted on their page. Let's say if they like buy a t-shirt from you and they post a picture wearing that t-shirt, then you could reuse that post and post it on your page, and that's a great way to show potential people that are interested in like that t-shirt, for example, that hey, this person bought the t-shirt already, they enjoyed it, they liked it, here's a picture of them using it, and then that will increase the likelihood of your followers who haven't bought the t-shirt yet to go buy the t-shirt. And that works with anything, obviously. You could do that with like a fitness program, like when people are like losing weights and they take the before and after and they like tag you in it and they say like, oh, thank you for helping me. You could say, look at the results that I got for this person. Obviously in that case you would want to ask, actually in any case, you would want to ask the person that if you could repost their content before you just take it and repost it, because if you could run into some dicey situations. I'll just leave it at that. But another form of promotional content is like any testimonials where people are talking good about your business. That's a great form of promotional content, testimonials. And another form of promotional content is when you're just straight up talking about any new products you have, any new launches, and any other opportunities that you may have, any deals, discounts. This is where you talk about that in the promotional type of content. And these types of content, I used to try and do them every single day, but since I've scaled back my posting a little bit, I try to incorporate all of these types of posts every week. And then the fourth type of content that I'm gonna be talking about in this video is inspirational content. So this is the type of content where you help your audience believe that they could do whatever you're talking about. So if you're, again, talking about like fitness or getting healthy, you could find some quotes that maybe you made, maybe you haven't made, maybe you found somewhere else. You could use these quotes that will help your audience believe that they could do whatever you're talking about. So that's another form of content, inspirational content. It's very important. You need your people to be inspired so that way they take action on whatever you're talking about. So if you've enjoyed this video so far, guys, I would really appreciate it if you screenshot this and repost it on your stories on Instagram, and then just tag me and then be like, I'm watching Austin's video about, creating content. I like it, it's really good. Post it on your story, and if you do and you tag me, I'll repost it in my story on Instagram just to, say thank you. So with that being said, screenshot it, I would really appreciate it, and post in your story and tag me. And number 4, curate as much as possible. And so there's a difference between curating content and creating content. Creating content is what I'm doing right here, where I'm creating this video. I create like pictures, I take my own pictures, but a way of curating content is by using other people's content on your page. So if you can use something that you see on Instagram, if you're just scrolling the feed and you see a piece of content, you're like, damn, this could work so well for my brand, you could reuse that. It's called curating content and is 100% legal. It's not like wrong to like take someone else's content. If you feel so bad about it, you could tag them and I'm sure they'll be happy because you're promoting them, but you don't even have to tag them. I usually don't. I do once in a while, but I usually don't. And an easy way to get curated content, to get content that would work well for your page that you don't specifically create, go to hashtags in your niche and just find content that appeals to you, that resonates with you. And chances are if it resonates with you, it would most likely resonate with your audience as well. So that would be good content to use. So the best way that I like to do this is just, again, going in those hashtags, going on top profiles in my niche and seeing what works for those top profiles. And then I just click the save button next to it. So that way I have it for later when I'm scheduling all my content, I can just go in there and be like, all right, what type of curated content could I use? And it's all in there, all the content that resonated with me. So it's all in there, it's easily accessible. So yeah, that's my tip for that. So with all that being said, that's how you create consistent content for Instagram in 2019. And yeah, that's how you schedule a whole month's worth of content in just one day. So like I said, again, make sure you go download that content calendar that's linked below so that way you don't have to create your own, and having that content planned ahead of time is a great way to stay consistent so that way you can keep generating that free traffic from Instagram, and by doing so you'll be increasing your business and sales, etc. And before you get into the next video, make sure you go join the VasNATION Mastermind. It's like an Instagram mastermind that I run. And yeah, make sure you go join that group because it's full of people who are interested in the same thing that you are, and like-minded individuals that are also interested in growing on Instagram. We're all gonna be helping each other out. We're gonna be sharing different strategies that we find, and there's gonna be a ton of content posted in there. So make sure you go click the link below where you can join. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button and share it with a friend that you think could also benefit from watching this. Make sure you comment below the question of the day, which was, do you plan ahead or are you more of a on-the-fly type of person? And if you are an on-the-fly type of person, do you ever miss content or do you stress out about having to post every single day? I'm interested to hear why you guys aren't planning ahead, so let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe, and when you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so that way you'll be notified every time I release a new video. So, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.